Good morning, everyone. Today, we will explain about reading for academic purposes, problems faced by an undergraduate student of visual communication design. For the first, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Putri Maria Patricia.
My name is Kisha Sriwarno. My name is Zorika Zurapartian. My name is Rizkia Lili Karina.
My name is Radha Tarsila Patricia.
My name is Claudia Fadista.
And this is our material. In education, by reading a passage or story, students will get more knowledge and information. The knowledge or information that they get from reading can be used for communication or sharing their ideas from the other student to giving opinion or idea. Unfortunately, how to teach reading fluency has not been given much attention in some schools. Most of the English learners have a problem in comprehending English text. They get troubles because of unfamiliar words and their inability in understanding the context. Very often, readers begin to panic and stop reading to find the meaning of unfamiliar words in dictionaries, and it interrupts the normal reading process. It actually destroys their chance to comprehend much of the text. Many of the students admit that sometimes they too do not understand what they read because of the words are too hard for them. When they are unable to deal with the problem, it will make them likely to be reluctant to read the whole text.
Okay, next, the students are afraid to have many problems when reading in English, like not knowing how to organize ideas because it is a new experience for them. For students to succeed in a foreign language generally, and reading skill, specifically they need to surround themselves in a language learning environment. As a result, many problems occur when they study at a university where the medium of introduction is a foreign language like English. English for specific purposes. ASP is an approach to language teaching which aims to meet the needs of particular learners. Language descriptions is the way language system is broken down and described for the purposes of learning. It means that language description is about ideas of language which influences ACP. In order to achieve this goal, ACP activities have to be present in context because context is the central idea of ACP. Anyone enrolled in a university degree understands the challenge of academic reading.
Okay, next. It is a painstaking, time-consuming, and stressful task. Unlike reading for pleasure, for which many people can spend days and nights at sticking with the same books, reading for academic purposes can sometimes cause boredom and frustration. Many people are put off by the academic style of writing, full of specialist terms. Clearly, it requires so much more from readers than other types of reading. Nevertheless, reading for academic purposes is inevitable given the knowledge it provides, whether as a primary source of knowledge or a supporting source for writing academic papers. Undoubtedly, the more especially one reads, the more truly he or she understands the topic, and of course, the more successfully he or she can present his or her ideas through writing, rather than reading passively. as with reading for other purposes. Academic reading demands the reader's active and considerable engagement with the text and others.
Okay, next, to put it simply, one needs to be critical. A critical reader will dare to question the author and the next itself. The process of questioning begins as soon as one picks up a book, an article or a journal and decides whether this book is relevant to his or her area of interest. Once he or she begins to read, the reader will have to find out what the text is saying. By critically engaging with the text, the reader will realize which part of the text is useful and can be used to support or oppose his or her ideas in a convincing and powerful fashion, rather than merely reading and not reflecting upon the text. Reading is a major part of learning, and since learning can only take place in an active environment, reading must also be active. A person who can make the best use of reading is one who can make the sense of the text, think about it, and be able to use it.
Then, when we read for a variety of purposes. We sometimes read to get the main idea but not much more. Example, skimming a newspaper story. And sometimes we read to locate specific information. For example, scanning for a name, date, or term. Commonly, we read text to learn information, or reading to learn. And sometimes we are expected to synthesize information from multiple texts or from a longer chapter or book in order to take a critical position with respect to that information, or reading to integrate and evaluate information. Perhaps, more often, we read for general comprehension, reading to understand main ideas and relevant supporting information. We also read for pleasure, with the intention of for being entertained or informed, but not taste. In academic settings, almost every major purpose for reading comes into play. Thus, an EAP reading curriculum must account for how students learn to read for multiple purposes, including at least the reading. First, to search information. Second, for general comprehension. And third, to learn new information. And then four, to synthesize and evaluate information or.
Okay, next, reading comprehension is not essentially different from other kinds of comprehension. Comprehension is sometimes, but not always, related to the speed of reading. Reading comprehension means the ability to understand the material given by the writer. Okay, next, different from reading in general, reading comprehension has a deeper meaning to elaborate. There are many definitions of reading comprehension except from some writers. Some say that comprehension is the understanding of the meaning of the written material and covers the conscious strategies and led to understanding.
In other words, it deals with language content. Cheng also writes that research comprehension, the reader should foster his or her ability to understand the feelings of writer in an academic context. Reading is an essential skill for us all students, but particularly for non-native English-speaking students.
University students are required to research, analyze, and synthesize information in academic text in their fields as a regular part of their courses. Reading for academic purposes is to obtain necessary information, to understand ideas or theory, to recognize authors' viewpoints, and to search for evidence in order to support personal viewpoints.
So, conclusion is, in an academic context,
Reading is an essential skill for all students, but particularly for non-native English-speaking students. University students are required to research, analyze, and synthesize information in academic text in their files as a regular part of their courses. Reading for academic purpose is to obtain necessary information, to understand ideas or theories, to recognize outdoor viewpoints, and to search for evidence in order to support personal viewpoints.
Okay, that's all from us. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.